Okay, now we're going to jump back into the app where we were. Again, we've covered like why we're doing this, and now we've also covered that initial step. And now that we've covered that initial step, you've seen the initial summary, we're going to go through the rest a little bit quicker, but I'm going to give you some ideas on how to use this, some different benefits that might not be noticeable. And again, this is just creating the framework for you to be able to use it, because there's going to be so many other things we can do later as well that we won't necessarily be covering today. So I'm jumping right back in where we left off. This is, again, this is my real completed themes. This is my dashboard. And notice we've only had the app for 2 weeks, and I have a whole bunch of summaries in here. So I'm going to go back to finding Blueberries here. And this is a main page. We started, this is our sort of practice round on this. And notice there are deeper reflections, shared reflections, and daily reflections. Now, over time, the names of these might change, but functionally, they're the same. Now, before we ended the last video, I talked about being able to have weekly summaries, right? And so if you look here, this is a theme for the week of December 16th through 20th. Notice it says completed for me here, so I should be able to go into my dashboard and find that theme, right? Week 16 to 20 summary there. And I'll go back into daily. You can navigate it up here as well. So these, very similar process. You can see the preview questions. Right now, this is designed to, you can answer them all at once at the end of the week. We created them as weekly questions. This will change over time to be simpler. What went well today? We'll cover that a little later. But these are designed to be able to have a summary created each week that looks through key things that happened during the week. Something you did that made a positive difference, the strengths or quality you relied on. And then this this Christmas week, when did you feel the most grateful this week? What was the strength or skill you leaned on? What was the best conversation you had this week? And again, these summaries are going to create those value summaries at the end, or rather these questions. When you dive in to the theme here, again, it's going to follow the same pattern, right? What was the difference somebody made? Here is the deeper dive questions, the neuroscience behind it, the best practices, again, all designed to have more clarity in the answers here. So these weekly ones are about getting consistency. Yeah, if you think about looking back at your year right now, you likely are going to have a hard time identifying in January or February what was going well. What strengths did you use in March when things were going good, or what skills did you rely on in June when you were overcoming challenges? And so the idea of engaging these questions is to be able to see those themes over time, and doing that for yourself, but also if you're a coach or a leader, being able to engage this information with your team or with your clients or even with your peers to be able to get insights with each other. Now, a really good application for these, what we call the daily reflections that create these weekly summaries, is what if you took the weekly summary, and again, you can download these and just emailed it to someone and had them email yours. This will be built into the app very soon, where you can just share it directly with them. But I can tell you, because we've already seen it, when somebody shares their summary with you, you just have a load of questions that are going to kick off a conversation at a much deeper level and a much higher level of connection with that person. And the same when they send theirs to you, because this is going to create a natural curiosity about the things they care about, the things you care about, the things they've done well, the things that you've done well too. And that is all by design. So while the summaries have a ton of benefit, it's the sharing of the summaries, it's the curiosity that comes in there that starts to make it even more beneficial. And so when we start to think about getting more people involved, then we can then jump to the second part of this, from daily reflections to shared reflections. And these are reflections you're actually doing about, or questions you're answering about other people, things you did with them, right? What were their biggest accomplishments and moments they shared together? Down here, shared accomplishments or problems, we can dive a little deeper. The easiest thing you both did together that helped you both towards a shared goal. What are some of the hardest things you did together? What is the best thing you both did together? And notice that these are all, these types of these summaries rather are designed to be able to do with others. Now, the summary that comes out of these is a little bit different. Now, notice I created these for my wife, so I'm not going to show you what I actually wrote down in the summary for her sake. But what I'll do is show you that the summary that's created after you answer those questions is written in much more of a narrative or story form. Here's our shared story. Again, similar pattern, highlights and wins, our strengths and actions, the impact and possibilities, and then looking ahead, again, what we could do in the future. And this is designed, you can take this, cut and paste this right into a letter for the other person. And as I stated just before we jumped into this section, this is designed to facilitate the conversation. But it's also designed that if you share it with them and they have this additional summary to go along with the daily summaries and those other summaries that you'd seen before, what we're doing is helping them see their value clearer while we're doing the same for ourselves, because we're answering questions about what we care about, what we did well, as what they care about and what they did well. Right, so that now we have two layers in this. The daily summaries is going to give you a deeper sense of clarity and value, being able to share that someone else to elicit conversation. Shared summaries about experiences, things we did with other people that again raise that level of clarity, but also initiate almost automatic conversations, really engaging conversations. You can go into the shared summaries and you on that's achievements together, you can outline, here's what I thought was well, and then they can create their own summaries. You can compare those two, which is a lot of fun and a really good conversation to start. And the last section that, again, we'll go into a lot of these more as we create more videos over the coming weeks, but you've now looked at the daily, we've then looked at the shared, and on this, now we go into the deeper reflections. Now, these deeper reflections, here's your kickstart that you started at the very beginning. These themes are broader experiences. And so you'll notice there's 4 themes. And in each theme, in this case, there are 3 questions, right? What was your biggest accomplishments? And notice that this broader experience, a deep dive is about looking at an entire narrative. In this case, a year. It could be other experiences that we'll be adding in the future. It could be a job experience, could be a project that you worked on. We'll be creating ones that are very specific to entire events. And so this one has a little bit of a different flavor. It creates the same summaries as before, but what you find is that every 3 questions here, because these questions are designed to have a little bit more detail in the answer, to have maybe multiple answers in one question, it creates a summary based on 3 questions. And so you can also do it a little quicker. Now, this one has also 4 sections. So each of these themes or sections create their own summary. But what's really cool is now that I've done 4 sections, I have 4 additional summaries to go with my daily summaries, to go with that other summary I started with, to go with the shared summary. So now I've got all of this data about what I've done well, how I've done it, why it matters, and all different angles of looking at that, where I found confidence, where I found happiness, how I got over challenges, all the questions that we designed in Finding Good. And once I've done all 4, what I'm able to do is create a summary of all 4 that you'll notice has a whole lot more detail than the others. And so now we have multiple summaries and we have detailed summaries. And then one final piece in this is you can create the same detailed summaries for someone else. Now, these questions are designed to answer it. So this isn't a shared experience. This is about your observation, what you've known, what they've told you about, right? What is their biggest accomplishment based on what they've shared? What actions did they take that made you feel proud? You can fill these out. One theme will then create a summary that you can send them. Or if you do all 4 themes, you can create 4, you can send them 4 summaries or the master summary, just like you did in the self-reflection piece. And what you find is that in these shared summaries and then the deep dive summaries, and then the summaries people are going to send you, because you're sending summaries to them, you're getting more and more clarity about, again, those pieces. What do you do well? How do you do it? How do you show up? Right? Where do you benefit? How do you benefit other people? What is your impact? And in each one, a clear understanding of what you can do in the future, while at the same time creating more and more opportunities to connect and engage with other people around you, your friends, your family, your coworkers, your peers, people that have influenced you and mentors. And in this interaction of sharing, not only are you all going to get a higher level of clarity, but you're going to strengthen connections. Because each time you send a summary or you get a summary, now we have an excuse, nothing else, to engage in a conversation we might not have engaged in before, to connect in a way that we might not have had the opportunity because we didn't hear these stories or summaries that we're sharing with each other. And so that's the basic overview of this. And I hope that in listening to that, you got more excited to engage with this. Now, again, I'm going to create some additional videos in the future. We're going to break it down. We're going to see different ways you can take these summaries into a GPT. You can create stories with them. You can create so many different things with them that we'll talk about and we'll be implementing in the app in the future. I hope this gives you some place to start, some clarity on how to engage it. And I hope you tell me how you are engaging it, because I want to hear about it. I want to see the stories, and I want to know how you'd like to see this and build it out, because we're going to be developing a lot of stuff in a very short time over the next 2 months, and I can't wait to share it with you. So I hope you found this helpful. I really appreciate your support and involvement. If you've got other people, bring them on the app. Let's have some fun with it. But most importantly, thank you for taking your time, your money to invest in this and to be part of this journey with us.